In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Come on in, take your shoes off, set a spell, get comfortable. My name is Jake Johnson, and this is Untethered Live on a Monday night, some Bible study night. How are you? How's the world treating you? How are things after the Super Bowl? I know it got a little crazy out there. Did you survive? Is everything okay? Did you get bloodied up any? Any craziness ensue in your neck of the woods? It's on the news. Apparently, the wrong team won. Go figure. That's the Super Bowl for you. Thank God we're here to read the Bible. Tonight's episode is brought to you by this hot cup of coffee and a nice cigarette. Oh, what a lovely day it's been. All things considered, I feel reasonably good. Hey, Alpine Gulch. Assalamu alaikum. How art thou? Come on in and rest thine hiney. Fool. Love it. Ah, yes. Nice hot cup of coffee. I feel pretty good today. I've had a headache today, but no other sickness. I feel like I think I've finally beat it. We'll see. It's been going that way, though, you know. Day on, day off, day on, day off. So tomorrow I might be just in shambles. But right now I feel pretty good. All things considered, I hope it stays that way. For those of you that don't know, I've been battling the COVID. And I think I'm through with it. I think I'm done. It was a nice 2-week vacation. The vacation's over and it's time to get back to work, baby. Got to get some work done. Got to get some money coming in. Got to get them bills paid. You know how it goes. Got to get out there and get to moving. I need to move. Get off my lazy butt. But tonight is a special night. Because tonight we're going to finish the story of Balak and Balaam. 2 very interesting characters in the Bible. And their story reads like a CW drama. So far, it's been quite interesting. And we're going to finish that story tonight. We might even get on through the book of Numbers. Who knows? We're up in there. We're up in there pretty high, so we might get to the end of it. It's a long book, so we'll see. Balak. Yes, Balak and Balaam. Balak is the king, son of Beor, king of the Amalekites or whatever, whoever they are. I can't remember exactly. But Balaam is the mercenary who is chaotic neutral. He doesn't care either way. He's a gun for hire, you know. Guy says come, he comes, but he's got a good reputation, you know. He gets the job done. So much so that people say whomever he blesses, they're blessed, and whomever he curses, they're cursed. Because when he comes for you, he's going to get you. But God intervened and said, hey, Balaam, these people he wants you to go kill, those are my people. You need to stay away from those people. Balaam, being the smart man that he is, recognized the power and the authority of God and said, okay, well, I guess I'm not doing that. And so the other guy, Balak, the king, decides he's going to buy him. Well, I'll just raise the stakes a little. I'll give him a little more money. I'll give him some honor, some chicks, you know, whatever. Stroke his ego a little bit. Not having it. Balaam ain't for sale. I don't care what you offer me, he says. You give me everything you got and your kingdom too, and that wouldn't be enough. God said don't do it. I'm not going to do it. Now, Do you think God will bless Balaam for that? I think he will. We'll see how it turns out. Hey, there's April. Welcome to the show, sweetheart. Come on in, get your reins, get your little riding crop, and let's get started. You always did remind me of the kind of chick that needed a riding crop. Smack some fools around. Bad boy. Anyway, it's quite the interesting story, and I hope you guys are as invested in it as I am. I hope that you're enjoying it as much as I am, and I hope you can't wait for the resolution of this conflict as I do, because we're going to get there tonight. OMG, LOL. Yeah, that's how we roll. I didn't say anything about the GIMP mask. Relax. No Motorola and jumper cables. Hey, last night, South Alabama Gump subbed to your channel and also played one of your videos of you singing on his panel. Really? Cool. Well, tell him I said thank you. Maybe he'll come in and I can talk to him. I'll check him out. South Alabama Gump. ATL, what's up, buddy? As long as you're not an Amalek, you're good. Yeah, Amalek's got it coming. Him and his whole group. Haven't heard a whip called a prop in a while. It's not a prop, it's a crop, a riding crop for riding horses. You know, the rich people will smack the horse with the little riding crop. But that's what that thing's called, a riding crop. But it is a whip. And it hurts when it smacks you on the bare skin. So I've heard. I'm not freaky or anything. Hey-ya. Yes, I was sharing and supporting you. So it's going to get seen a lot. Excellent. Excellent. That's what we need, baby. We need all the support we could get. We need to be spreading out. That's a good place for the channel to be, in other people's places. That's right, crop. You got it. A riding crop. Why they call it that, I don't know, but that's what it's called. I think whip works just as good, but, you know. It's a lovely day outside. It didn't rain once today. It's nice. It's always a good thing. How's everybody doing tonight, says April. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. Thank you for the gift this morning. I appreciate that. It means a lot. Went a long way. Thank you, thank you. And who is this South Alabama Gump? Has he got a good channel? I don't know anything about him. I've never met him. Sounds like a good winner, though. From South Alabama, you can't beat that. You look like you feel better, and you're welcome. I do feel better. I had a headache today, all day. Like the headache from the COVID came back a little bit. You know, feel like my eyes are going to pop out. But it was dull, you know. It was just there. It wasn't as bad as it was the first time around. And it subsided about dark. Don't know why. Just there it was. So, he knows hippie, Sasquatch, and I'll send you a link. Thank you. But other than that headache, I felt pretty good today. Worked all day. Got out and got some running around done. Got some errands done. Went out and seen my sister for a minute. It's her birthday this week. And I hadn't had a chance to get up with her until now. So I went and spent a little time with her this afternoon. Just let her know I loved her and that I was thinking about her. And then while we're talking about it, I need you guys to do me a favor and say a prayer for my buddy Mac, the guy that I kind of take care of, the guy in the wheelchair. He's got to have surgery on his foot, and they're going to take out a large bone, possibly consider removing his foot. So he can use all the prayers he can get. If you guys will throw him one, I'd appreciate that. It'd mean a lot to me if you would. I know you don't know him, but he's a friend of mine, and I try to take care of him. So power and strength in numbers. Hey, Fab Daddy, what's up, my friend? Welcome to the show. Howdy. I can't stay watching a city board meeting. Have a great read. I like SA. I don't know what SA is, but maybe your city will come to some conclusions that'll be in your favor. And thank you guys for the prayers. I'm hoping that he's got a really bad sore on his foot that's eaten through to the bone. And I've been changing the bandage on it, you know, because his wife is worthless. So I've been doing that, and it's getting worse. And so he went to his doctor, and they've decided they're going to do surgery and remove that bone because the bone is infected. So, SA for short. Oh, South Alabama. Gotcha. Understand. Well, if you like him, I like him, I guess. I'll check him out after the show. Anyway, it's not a good prognosis. That's not the outcome I was hoping for. I was hoping he'd heal, but it don't look like it's gonna. And maybe after they remove that infected bone and cut out some of that bad meat, that maybe it'll start healing, you know. When you get a sore like that, it starts as a bed sore, and it just like a flesh-eating whatever just eats a big hole in you. And when you get there, it's kind of hard to heal from that, especially if you're diabetic and overweight and you don't get up and you can't get air to it because you can't bend down to take the bandage off and that sort of thing. This guy was crushed from the waist down in a car accident, so his whole lower half is just mush. He can't stand up or anything. So it's kind of rough on him, and I really hope that they can fix it without removing the foot, but we'll see. See what happens. See what the Lord has in store. Through him, all things are possible, though. That's one thing I know for sure. So if you guys wouldn't mind saying a little prayer for my buddy Mac, I'd appreciate it. His name is Mac Avent. All right. Let's get started, shall we? Let's get into this book. Let's go down. I've embiggened this as much as I possibly can without covering up the words. I hope you can read that, Alpine. And we're in the book of Numbers, for those of you that got your Bibles handy. Chapter 24, verse 9 in the great book of Numbers. So let's go. He couched, he lay down as a lion, and as a great lion. Who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed is he that curseth thee. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together. And Balak said unto Balaam, I called thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. What is the matter with you, man? I called you to kill my enemies, not make buddies with them. What's the matter with you? Is this what it's going to be? Am I paying for you to just totally stab me in the back? That's what he's thinking. And Balaam's like, dude, I would gladly kill your enemies. This is different. These are God's people. You dig? Do I need to say anything else? Therefore now flee thou to thy place. Get away from me. I thought to promote thee unto great honor, but lo, the Lord hath kept thee back from honor. God has stopped you from being honorable. That's what he said to Balaam. God has kept you from honor. If you knew anything about what honor was, you would know that obeying God is about the most honorable thing you can do. And he has won big honor points by doing so. And it's actually working against Balak in this situation. And Balaam said unto Balak, Spake I not also to thy messengers which thou sentest unto me, saying, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord, to do either good or bad of mine own hand. But what the Lord saith, that will I speak. Didn't I tell you that? I'm not trying to go against you, Balak. You're a good dude. I like you fine. And I ain't got no problem doing your bidding. I am a mercenary. But God, Almighty God, spoke to me and told me to leave these people alone. And he also told me to keep my mouth shut unless he told me what to say. And I told you that from the very beginning. From the moment I got here and before I even left my house, when you sent your messengers to me, I told them the same thing. And I'm telling you the same thing. I cannot go beyond the commandment of the Lord, nor do anything good or bad of my own volition. I can't. What he says goes. That's the deal with God. If you don't understand that, you're not paying attention. And now, behold, I go unto my people. Come, therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. Come with me, and I'll tell you what you can expect if you mess with these people. I'm going to go down there and join them because clearly God is on their side, and I prefer to take the winning side of a team. So, come with me, and I'll tell you what you can expect. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are opened hath said, he hath said which heard the words of God, and knew the knowledge of the Most High, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes opened. I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not near. There shall come a star out of Jacob. You know who that star is? And a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth. Do you know who this star is? Well, presently it's a guy named Joshua, oddly enough. The end result of this star will also be named Joshua, only we refer to him as Yeshua, Jesus Christ. That would be the scepter, the king out of the tribe of Israel, out of one of the tribes of Israel, out of the tribe of Jacob, and out of the tribe of Judah. And Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. You have no idea what this small group of people, which isn't a very small group, by the way, we're talking millions of people, but you have no idea what these people are capable of, what kind of battles they're going to. These people are savages. They're going to take down armies left and right, the likes of which you have never seen, and they're going to do it with relative ease. And you want me to go mess with them by myself? I don't think so. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of a city. Now this at the time of this conversation is about 2,000 years prior to Christ being born on this earth. Maybe 2,500 years, somewhere in that area. And they're talking about his coming. This is a prophecy, This is a clear vision given to this man by God that there's going to come a star out of the house of Israel that will have dominion over all of his enemies and all of the world for that matter. Trust me when I tell you, they knew Christ was coming even then. They didn't know when, they didn't know who, but they knew it was going to happen. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. They're going to wipe Amalek and his whole family off the face of the earth. Now, after the flood, when the three boys separated, they all had children of their own, and among them were children that would grow up Ham would have a child called Cush. And Canaan. Canaan is the founder of the land we're going to now. His people founded this area. This would be one of Noah's children. But his other child, Cush, would have a son named Nimrod. And he grew up to be Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. And so that's the great-great-great-grandson of Noah. And Amalek is one of these kids' kids. And it comes from Ham's line because Ham and through Canaan was cursed. And he was cursed because he had sex with his mom or his stepmom. I don't know which. It isn't clear. But he clearly had sexual relations with Noah's wife. And so Noah cursed him and the son that union produced, which would be Canaan. And out of Canaan came Amalek. And Amalek is a bad group of people. They may not even be completely human. Either way, God is going to wipe Amalek off the face of the planet and all that remains of him. There will be no Amalek left. No Amalekites, period. They will become extinct. And he looked on the Kenites. Now, this name, I want you to pay very close attention to this name, Kenites. This is a descendant of Cain, which would be Abel's brother from the Garden of Eden. Yes, they made it onto the ark, and yes, they survived the flood, and yes, they are prevalent in this new world. All bad things. When Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and he says to them, "You are of your father the devil," or when he's talking to the group of biblical lawyers and he says, "Thou den of vipers," those people he's talking to are Kenites, and they are of their father the devil. They are a den of vipers because they came from a serpent, a union done in the Garden of Eden, which caused an offspring, a descendant of Cain. Cain is the offspring of the devil, by the way, in case you didn't know. Cain is not Adam's son. Cain is Satan's son. Abel was Adam's son. They were paternal twins. They had the same mother, different fathers. Yes, this is possible. It's a product of a process called parthenogenesis, which is also responsible for virgin births, women that get pregnant without a sire. This has happened. It has happened enough times that it is medically notated. You can find documentation of this occurring. It's very rare. It hardly ever happens now. But back then, back when DNA was perfect and it was right there at the source, the first group of DNA, these kind of things happened a lot because the DNA was stronger then. So now you understand the Kenites are descendants of Cain, and Amalek is descendant of Ham. So you can see why God wants to wipe them off the face of the earth. He's not being hateful to them for no reason or out of a nebulous action. There is a clear reason why he sends the Israelite people to take them out. A lot of people use this to call God a vengeful God or a tyrant, a maniacal God that wants to kill people for no reason. That's not true. It never has been. These people deserve to be wiped off the face of the earth. They shouldn't be here in the first place. They don't belong here. God is just setting the record straight for the people that do belong here, the people he created, his bloodline from Adam. So now you understand that. And he looked on the Kenites and took up his parable and said, "Strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy neck in a rock. You have snared yourself. You have a strong village. It's very defensible, but you have put your own neck in a sling by being overconfident, by thinking that you're impregnable. Nevertheless, the Kenite shall be wasted until Usher shall carry thee away captive." And he took up his parable and said, "Alas, Who shall live when God doeth this? And ships shall come from coast of Chittim, and shall afflict Asher, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. Now this guy Eber, there's two Ebers in the Bible. This is not the one that was before the flood. This is the one after the flood, named for the guy before the flood. But the guy before the flood, Eber, is the guy who the Hebrews come from, his bloodline. Hebrew is the descendants of Eber, or Heber, however you want to pronounce it. And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. And Israel abode in Shittim, and the people begun to commit whoredom with the daughters of Moab. Remember God telling them, when you get where you're going, don't fall into their whoredoms. Don't learn their practices. Don't worship their gods. Don't hang out with them. Don't even talk to them, because they'll lead you astray. They'll lead you into whoredom. And what that means is worshiping of false idols. And that's what they began to do. Israel has always had a real problem with commitment. They have commitment issues. Commitment to God. And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their lowercase g gods. And the people did eat and bowed down to their lowercase g gods. That's a no. That is commandment number 1. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I am the Lord thy God. Period. He don't like it. And Israel joined himself unto Baal-peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel, rightfully so. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take all the heads of the people, and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel. Hang these people. They don't deserve to live. Why? Because I've told you and told you and told you and told you. You will have no other gods. I am your God, and you are my people. Lo-ami, Miami in the Greek. I will be your God, and you will be my people. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to have, and I will kill anybody that does it differently. And Moses said unto the judges of Israel, the people that he set up under him at the behest of his stepfather, or father-in-law rather, Slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal-peor. If you found them worshiping a false god, kill them. Don't give them a second chance. Don't give them a trial. Don't ask them what they were doing. Just cut their heads off and be done with it. If you do this, these things will cease among your people. That's what capital punishment is for. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. Midian, that's where Moses went to get his wife before all of this began. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman, through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. What plague, you might ask? The plague of mixing with strange women, which God instructs you not to do, or it will destroy your family. What does that mean? It doesn't mean different races. It means different religions. You don't mix with people that don't share your ideology, because it will poison you. It will poison your family, as witnessed anybody that's ever had a broken home because something like this occurred. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. By the way, when you go to a strange land, you have no defenses against the ailments that they have. That's why when the Spanish people came over to South America, They didn't come over to conquer right away. They were just visiting. They visited for a couple of weeks and then they left. And when they left, just about everybody on this side died of smallpox. Why? Because they had no immunity to it. They'd never been around livestock in that fashion. They didn't have smallpox in South America. So when the Spaniards came over, they infected them all. They didn't even know they did it. That's why you'll find writings. Well, we saw these great cities and there were people everywhere. And then when they came back, it was a ghost town. And they all thought that they made it up. There's no villages here. There's no advanced people living here. No, because they all died. Well, that's kind of what's going on here. So, there's more than one reason God tells you not to mix with strange women. And the biggest reason is their religion. The secondary reason is because you have no defenses against what might ail her people, and it will kill your people if you get involved. It's the best to stay away from them or stay to yourself until you've grown immunities to these kind of things. So, this man stuck a javelin through them both and killed them both. And still 24,000 people died because of their union. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, hath turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Why would God be jealous? He doesn't like it when you worship other gods. That's why. Now, you could say that because they were worshiping false gods, that God struck them with the plague. I think it's because they're mixing with people that they're not accustomed to being around, and God also told them not to do that. But you can look at it either way if you want to. Either way, this guy Phinehas saved a lot of lives by killing those two people. Wherefore say, Behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was zealous for his God, and he made an atonement for the children of Israel. Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. And the name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosbi. She had a little problem with Jello pudding pops, if you know what I'm saying. The daughter of Zur. He was the head over a people and of a chief house in Midian. So these were highfalutin people. They were not peasants by any stretch of the imagination. These were princes and princesses among their people. But because Phinehas was so zealous and took it into his own hands and stopped this union from occurring, God blessed him with an everlasting priesthood, gave him peace. Priests don't generally get into the fights and stuff. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Vex the Midianites, and smite them, for they vex you with their wiles, their sexual mores. Pudding pops? Yeah, her name is Cosby. Can't you read? Wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor. This word beguiled translates or transliterates to wholly seduced. This same word is used in the Genesis portion of the Bible talking about Eve and the serpent, where the serpent beguiled her. He wholly seduced her with his sexual wiles. That's what the word wiles means. Women have wiles. And apparently they were quite free with their wiles. So God says they vex you with their wiles, so vex them back. Wherewith they have beguiled you in the matter of Peor, and in the matter of Cosbi, the daughter of a prince of Midian, their sister which was slain in the day of the plague for Peor's sake. And it came to pass after the plague that the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, saying, now remember, Aaron's dead. He died on the mountain a couple weeks ago because he was disobedient. And he spoke to them, saying, take the sum of all the congregation of the children of Israel from 20 years old and upwards throughout their father's house, all that are able to go to war in Israel. Take them all. Go get them. Build you an army out of these people. And Moses and Eleazar the priest spake with them in the plains of Moab by Jordan, near Jericho. Jericho is the oldest city known to man, and it's the oldest walled city known to man. Let me correct that. And it is famous most of all for its walls falling to the ground after the encampment of Israel marched around it for 7 days and blowed their trumpets, and the walls came tumbling down. That's Jericho, and that's close to where they're at. Take the sum of people from 20 years old and upwards, as the Lord commanded Moses and the children of Israel, which went forth out of the land of Egypt. Reuben, the eldest son of Israel, the children of Reuben, Hanok, of whom cometh the family of the Hanokites. Of Palu, the family of the Paluites. Of Hezron, the family of the Hezronites. Of Camri, the family of the Carmites. These are the families of the Reubenites, and they that were numbered of them were 43,730. And the sons of Palu, Eliab, and the sons of Eliab, Nimiel, and Dathan, and Abiram. This is that Dathan and Abiram which were famous in the congregation, who strove against Moses and against Aaron in the company of Korah. Remember that story? When they strove against the Lord, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up together with Korah. When that company died, what time the fire devoured 250 men, and they became a sign. This is also when the caduceus, the snake wrapped around the pole, was made. Notwithstanding, the children of Korah died not. So those children are now conscripted into this army, but they are quite famous because of their striving against Moses. The sons of Simeon after their families, of Nemuel, the family of the Nemuelites, and Jamin, he likes to rock out occasionally, family of the Jaminites, and Jachin. Shh, that's a secret word for those of you who are woke. The family of the Jachinites, of Zerah, the family of the Zarahites, and of Shaul, the family of the Shaulites. These are the families of the Simeonites, 22,200. And the children of Gad after their families, Zephon and the family of the Zephonites, of Haggai and the family of the Haggites, of Shuni and the family of the Shunites, of Ozni and the family of the Oznites, of Eri and the family of the Erites, of Arod and the family of the Arodites. Erudite? No, erudite. Erudite. Erudite? No, erudite. Of Areli in the family of the Arielites. These are the families of the children of Gad, according to those that were numbered of them, 40,500. Big army so far. And the sons of Judah, this is the king line, by the way, were and Onan. And and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Judah after their families were of Shelah, the family of the Shelonites, of Pharez and the family of the Pharezites, of Zerah and the family of the Zarites. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron, the family of the Hezronites, Hamul and the family of the Hamalites. These are the families of Judah, according to those that were numbered of them, 76,500. You must not be woke. You don't know that secret. No, you have to be male, and you have to be raised, and you have to be on the level to know that secret. But I know it. I am, after all, a man of letters, and that's just one of them. Of the sons of Issachar, after their families, of Tola, the family of the Tolatites, of Pua, and the family of the Punites. They like punani. They were all hotties. Of Jashub, the family of the Jashubites. Of Shimron, the family of the Shimronites. Oh, I'm lost. Don't be lost, honey. I'll carry you along. Just follow me. Keep your eyes on me, and I'll guide the way. These are the families of Issachar, according to those that were numbered of them, 64,300. Of the sons of Zebulun, after their families, of Sered, the family of the Sardites, of Elon, he went to Mars, and the family of the Elonites, of Jaleel, the family of the Jaleelites. What a name. These are the families of the Zebulunites, according to those that were numbered of them, 60,500. That's 60,500. And the sons of Joseph after their families were Manasseh and Ephraim. Of the sons of Manasseh was Machir and the family of the Machirites. And Machir begat Gilead. Of Gilead comes the family of the Gileadites. These are the sons of Gilead. Of Jezer, the family of the Jezerites. Of Helek, and the family of the Helekites. And of Azrael, and the family of the Azraelites. Of Shechem, and the family of the Shechemites. And of Shemida, and the family of the Shemidites. And of Heifer, she was big fat one, and the family of the Heiferites. And Zelophehad, and of Zelophehad, the son of Heifer, had no sons, but daughters. And the names of the daughters of Zelophehad was Mala, and Noah, and Hagla, and Milcah, and Tirzah. These are the families of Manasseh, and those that were numbered of them, 52,700. These are the sons of Ephraim after their families. Shuthelah, and the family of the Shuthelites. Becher, and the family of the Becherites. Of Tahan, and the family of the Tahanites. These are the sons of Shuthelah. Of Aaron, the family of the Aaronites. These are the families of the sons of Ephraim, according to those that were numbered of them, 32,500. Big army. These are the sons of Joseph after their families. Now, the sons of Benjamin after their families, of Bela, the family of the Belatites. Of Ashbel, the family of the Ashbelites. Of Ahiram, the family of the Ahiramites. Of Shupham, and the family of the Shuphamites. Of Hupham, the family of the Huphamites. And the sons of Bela, and Ard, and Naaman. Of Ard, the families of the Ardites. And of Naaman, the family of the Naamites. And these are the sons of Benjamin after their families. And they that were numbered of them were 45,600. Never heard all these names. I wonder if they are cities named now. Some of them, yes. Not all of them. Some of them do have cities named after them or locations. And a lot of these people died in battle. So that's probably why you never heard of most of them. But the first name in each one of these lists, like Benjamin and Judah and Ephraim and Manasseh and Reuben, these are all of the 12 tribes of Israel. And it's just talking about their children from 20 years old and upwards who were conscripted into the Israeli army. So the first of the sons of is one of the 12 tribes, and then after that is their children. I hope that makes sense. And these are the sons of Dan after their families, of Shuam and the family of the Shuamites. These are the families of Dan after their families. All the families of the Shuamites, according to those that were numbered of them, were 64,400. That's 64,400 people in one family. Big army. Savages, every one. Of the children of Asher, after their families. Of Jimnah, the families of the Jimnites. Of Jesu, the family of the Jesuites. There they are. I knew they would sneak around here somewhere. And Beriah, the family of the Berites. Of the sons of Beriah, of Heber, the family of the Heberites. Of Machiel, the family of the Machielites. And the name of the daughter of Asher was Sarah. These are the families of the sons of Asher, according to those that were numbered of them, were 53,400. Of the sons of Naphtali, after their families. Of Jaziel, the family of the Jazielites. Of Guni, the family of the Gunites. And they were little kids that solved mysteries back in the old days in Jersey. Of Jezer, and the family of the Jezerites. Of Shilem, and the family of the Shilemites. These are the families of Naphtali, according to their families, and they that are numbered of them were 45,400. These were the numbered of the children of Israel, all together now, 600,000 and 1,730. That's a big army that's going to go up against all of these other places and wipe the floor with them. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Unto these the land shall be divided for an inheritance according to the number of the names. To many thou shalt give the more inheritance, and to few thou shalt give the less inheritance. To every one shall his inheritance be given according to those that were numbered of him. So in other words, according to the size of the family is the amount of land that they get to accommodate said size of family. Notwithstanding, the land shall be divided by lot. According to the names of the tribes of their fathers, they shall inherit. So each one of those 12 tribes, the heads of those tribes would get a city named after them or some such, because all of the land in that city will be divided by lot among all of the children according to the number of the family, the size of the family. So Canaan is divided up amongst the 12 tribes, and each one has land. That's why the law of Jubilee comes into effect, so that after 50 years, if they happen to lose that land, it comes back to them. Right, no probate, that's correct. So after 50 years, they're free and clear of any debt they may have accrued, and their property is returned to them so that their inheritance can be passed on down through the families, and they will always possess it as God has deemed necessary for them to always, forever possess the land of Canaan, the land flowing with milk and honey, which ain't doing so hot right now because they did not obey God. God said, as long as you do these few things that I tell you to do, you will always have this land, and it will always be prosperous and flow with milk and honey. Most of that land is desert right now. It's barren, and they've been at war for 200 years or more That tell you anything? They didn't do what God told them to do. And yet, he still gives them more chances. According to the lot shall the possession thereof be divided between many and few. And these are they that were numbered of the Levites, who did not get a plot of land because they're priests, but they do get sanctuary, a portion of every city of all 12 tribes, of anywhere they build a city, they get a portion of it to live in for free. Sanctuary area for the Levites. That's their inheritance. Numbered of the Levites after their families, of Gershon, the family of the Gershonites, of Kohath, the family of the Kohathites, of Merari, and the family of the Merarites. These are the families of the Levites, the family of the Libnites, the family of the Hebronites, the family of the Mahalites, the family of the Mushites, the family of the Korathites. And Kohath begat Amram. And the name of Amram's wife was Jochebed, the daughter of Levi, whom her mother bare to Levi in Egypt. And she bare unto Amram, Aaron, and Moses, and Miriam their sister. So now we're talking about Moses' parents. So this is kind of going back. Right. Amram and Jochebed had Aaron, Moses, and Miriam. Miriam is the one that put Moses in the water and sent him afloat. You follow me? And unto Aaron was born Nadab, and Abihu, and Eleazar, and Ithamar. Two of these sons burned up in a fire because they brought strange fire into God's camp in direct disobedience to God. So he killed them right in front of Aaron, and Aaron couldn't say anything. The other two became high priests, and one of them since died. And Nadab and Abihu died, and when they offered strange fire before the Lord. And those that were numbered of them were 23,000, all males from a month old and upwards, for they were not numbered among the children of Israel, because there was no inheritance given among the children of Israel, given them. The Levites did not get a portion of the inheritance, the land, because they are priests. Their job is service. They should always be serving the rest of the children of Israel. That's their job, to minister to them, to keep them straight, to be their pastors, to be their instructors, to be there if they need them, which means they have to move around a lot. So they don't get land. But because they didn't get land, they get sanctuary cities in every city of all of the 12 tribes. They can go anywhere and live for free and have a place for their animals for free. Yep, even sounds like Arabic names, because they are. And these are they that were numbered by Moses and Eleazar the priest, who numbered the children of Israel in the plains of Moab by Jordan, near Jericho. Jordan is a river, Jericho is a city, a walled city, the oldest walled city known to man. But among these there was not a man of them whom Moses and Aaron the priest numbered, when they numbered the children of Israel in the wilderness of Sinai. Why? Because all those people died, because they were hard-headed, stiff-necked people that would not obey God. And so in his attempts, he gave them chance after chance after chance after chance, and finally got fed up with them and said, all right, I'm going to give you the promised land because I made that promise. I'll keep my word, but you are not going to make it. You're going to die in the wilderness. So he walked them around in circles for 40 years until every one of the principal people had died and only their children remained. So the offspring of the people that came out of Israel made it to the promised land, but the people that left Israel never left the desert. Left Egypt. They never left the desert. because they're hard-headed. Not one. They didn't number one that came out of Egypt to go into Canaan. For the Lord had said of them, they shall surely die in the wilderness. And there was not left a man of them, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun. Those are the only two, because those two were good people. And Joshua becomes Moses' general, and he wins quite a lot of battles, and he's also a type of Christ. He isn't Christ, but he's in that type. He is a savior of his people. So Caleb and Joshua were the only two that survived, but they were not numbered among the people that were just numbered, because they're not principal heads of the families. They themselves are offspring. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hefer, the big fat one, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. The golden cow folks didn't make it. No, they did not. And these are the names of his daughters: Mala, Noah, or No. I guess you pronounce that no, N-O. But it says Noah, so maybe it is Noah. Anyway, they named her after Noah. And Hogla, she was ugly, kind of hogly. And Milcah, and Tirzah, Noah. Yeah, that's Noah. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the princes of all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, You don't know she was fat? Yes, I do. Her name's Heifer. It's a joke. I'm trying to lighten the mood. There's a lot of reading here. I don't know that Hogla was ugly either, but if I named my daughter Hogla, it'd be because she looked like a little piggy. Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin, and had no sons. They lovely ladies. Yes, they are. I'm just teasing. I'm just trying to make it interesting. Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he hath no son? Give unto us, therefore, a possession among the brethren of our father. Now, you see, for all those people that say the Bible is sexist, 4 times in this read alone have they named the women in the line. And now these 2 women are talking about getting an inheritance, which is unheard of at that time, because their father had no sons. So they're saying, why should he just disappear because he was a sinner? We're here just because he didn't have any sons. We're part of his family. Let us carry on the inheritance. Let us take his possession and see what we can do with it. And Moses brought their case before the Lord. And what did God say? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and thou shalt cause the inheritance of their father to pass unto them. Why? Because it's right, and the Bible is not sexist, and when a woman is deserved, she gets what's coming to her, good and bad. Not only that, God uses women quite a few times later on in the Bible to do some very important things. So women are very highly spoken of in the Bible. Why would someone name their daughter Heifer? Well, because heifer in that language doesn't mean what it means in our language. And it's probably got a slant on it. It's probably pronounced Heifer or something like that. Or Heifer. It's probably that. A lot of in that language. I'm just trying to speak English. And And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, If a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter. because that's what's right. And if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his brothers. And if he have no brothers, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brothers. Give it to the next in line in the family, male or female. And if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman, somebody he knows, his next door neighbor. Whatever's next, that's who you send his inheritance to. That is next to him of his family. They got to be related. And he shall possess it, and it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses. Period. And the Lord said unto Moses, Get thee up into the Mount Abiram, into this Mount Abiram, and see the land which I have given unto the children. Now, unfortunately, Moses is not leaving this Mount Abiram. He's going to get up there and he's going to see it, and then he's going to die. Because Moses is one of the people who left Egypt and isn't going to make it into the promised land because of his disobedience. What disobedience? We talked about it earlier last night when he struck the rock with the stick and yelled at it and said, Bring forth water. What have I got to do? Make water come out of a rock, says Moses. That is not what God told him to do. Women's rights to inheritance. Yay. Yeah, 5,000 years ago. Think about that. For all the people complaining today because they're so oppressed. And 5,000 years ago, they knew right from wrong. The stick, that's right. And that's why Moses isn't going to get to go into the promised land. His brother has already died, stripped of his garments, given to his children, and then he died. So he's the leader of the pack, so he hasn't been killed yet. But his brother's already succumbed. And when thou hast seen it, thou also shalt be gathered unto thy people, as Aaron thy brother was gathered. This is your last day, Moses. Get up into that mountain and take a good look at what I promised you, and then die. For ye rebelled against my commandment in the desert of Zin, in the strife of the congregation, to sanctify me at the water before their eyes. That is the water of Meribah in Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin. Yeah, you see, I wanted you to sanctify me and let the people know that it was me that brought the water out of the rock. Instead, you took credit for it. Instead, you did a dramatic little spiel and beat the rock with a stick and said, What have I got to do? Bring water out of a rock to make you people happy? Fine, I'll do it. That's not what God told me to do, and that's why I am not going to make it. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, and which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep, which have no shepherd. Well, at least Moses is thinking about his people. And the Lord said unto Moses, Take thee Joshua, the son of Nun, a man in whom is the Spirit. Which Spirit? The same Spirit that is in Christ. The Spirit. And lay thine hand upon him, and set him before Eleazar the priest, and before all the congregation, and give him a charge in their sight. Give him your authority. And thou shalt put some of thine honor upon him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient to him. And he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgments of Urim before the Lord. Now, do you know what a Urim and Thummim is? That is a way that God speaks to the children. It's a little box with two rocks in it, a white one and a black one. The white one stands for yes, and the black one stands for no. You shake the box and reach in and pull out a rock, and whatever answer you get, that's what God is telling you to do. It's kind of like a magic 8-ball, but ancient. That is the Urim spoke of here. So ask counsel for him after the judgment of Urim before the Lord. Ask the box counsel concerning this man Joshua. And at his word shall they go out, and at his word shall they come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. And Moses did as the Lord had commanded, and he took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and he laid his hands upon him, and he gave him a charge as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, My offering and my bread for my sacrifices made by fire for a sweet savor unto me, shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season. Make sure that it's done. And thou shalt say unto them, This is the offering made by fire which ye shall offer unto the Lord, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering. 1 lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other shalt thou offer in the evening. And 1/10 part of an ephah of flour for a meat offering. An ephah is a measurement or a container that contains that measurement. Mingled with the 1/4 part of an hin, also a measurement or a container that contains that measurement of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained in Mount Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And the drink offering thereof shall be 1/4 part of an hin for the 1 lamb. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto the Lord for a drink offering. And the other lamb shalt thou offer at evening as the meat offering of the morning. And as the drink offering thereof thou shalt offer it, a sacrifice made by fire for a sweet savor unto the Lord. So you see what Moses is doing now is laying out the law, because he's fixing to die. So he's making sure everybody knows exactly how to handle all of this stuff before he goes. Because when he goes, Joshua is going to be the new de facto leader. And on the Sabbath day, 2 lambs of the first year without spot, with 2/10 deal of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil, and a drink offering thereof. This is the burnt offering of every Sabbath, besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. So this is the Sabbath day offering, which is separate from the rest. That's every day. And in the beginnings of your months shall ye offer a burnt offering unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3/10 deal of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2/10 deal of flour for a meat offering mingled with oil for 1 ram. And the several tenths deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb for a burnt offering of a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And their drink offerings shall be 1/2 an hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 1/3 part of an hin unto a ram, and a 1/4 part of an hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering unto the Lord shall be offered, besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. And in the 14th day of the first month, that's April, and that would be Passover. That's 14 days past the spring equinox at sundown. That is where Passover begins. And their first month is in April, is the Passover of the Lord. And in the 15th day of this month is the feast. 7 days shall unleavened bread be eaten. That's bread with no yeast, like crackers. In the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no manner of servile work therein, but ye shall offer a sacrifice made by fire for a burnt offering unto the Lord, and that's it. 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, they shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil. 3/10 deal shall ye offer for a bullock, 2/10 deal for a ram, and several tenths deal shalt thou offer for every lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 goat for a sin offering to make an atonement for you. That's every single time. Ye shall offer these besides the burnt offerings in the morning, which is for a continual burnt offering. After this manner ye shall offer daily throughout the 7 days the meat of the sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. It shall be offered besides the continual burnt offering and his drink offering. That's a lot of sacrificing. But keep in mind, they eat the sacrifice. So it's like having a cookout every day. So everybody gets fed and sin gets atoned for, which is the big reason. And on the 7th day ye shall have an holy convocation. So that's the first day and the 7th day. Ye shall do no servile work. Don't do anything that involves service on that day. On any of those 7 days. Because it's the Passover. Also, in the day of the first fruits, when ye bring a new meat offering unto the Lord, after your weeks be out, meaning harvest, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, but ye shall offer the burnt offering for a sweet savor unto the Lord, 2 young bullocks, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year, and their meat offering of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal unto 1 bullock, 2/10 deal unto 1 ram, and several tenths deal unto 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats to make an atonement for you. Sounds kosher to me. Matzah bread, crackers, yes. Ye shall offer them besides the continual burnt offering and his meat offering. They shall be unto you without blemish, and their drink offerings. And in the 7th month, on the first day of the month, ye shall have an holy convocation. That's where everybody gets together and prays and has like a little ritual. Ye shall do no servile work. It is a day of blowing the trumpets unto you. It's a day of music. And ye shall offer a burnt offering. This is probably the predecessor to the Jubilee, by the way. Ye shall offer a burnt offering of sweet savor unto the Lord, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish. And their meat offerings shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal for a bullock, and 2/10 deal for 1 ram, and 1/10 deal for a lamb throughout the 7 lambs. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering to make an atonement for you, besides the burnt offerings of the month, and his meat offerings, and besides the daily burnt offerings, and his meat offerings, and their drink offerings, according unto their manner, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto the Lord. And ye shall have on the 10th day of this 7th month an holy convocation, and ye shall afflict your souls. Ye shall do no work therein. You shall not do any work therein. But ye shall offer a burnt offering unto the Lord for a sweet savor, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year. They shall be unto you without blemish. And their meat offerings shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal to a bullock, 2/10 deal to 1 ram, and several tenths deal for 1 lamb throughout the 7 lambs, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the sin offering of atonement, and the continual burnt offerings of the meat offerings of it, and their drink offerings. I'm getting hungry, me too. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, ye shall have an holy convocation, and ye shall do no servile work. And ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord for 7 days. And ye shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord, 13 young bullocks, 2 rams, and 14 lambs of the first year. They shall be without blemish, and their meat offering shall be of flour mingled with oil, 3/10 deal unto every bullock of 13 bullocks, 2/10 deal to each ram of the 2 rams, and several tenths deal to each lamb of the 14 lambs, and 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering, and his drink offering. Whew. Roasted meat, strong wine. Yes, and these are to be a peculiar people set apart from the rest of the world, because they are God's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel. And they stay busy reminding themselves every day by doing all of these rituals every single day of every single month throughout the year. And they still do it in some places to this very day. The Samaritans had a disagreement with the rest of Israel, where they thought that the temple of God should have been in this one place, and David wanted it to be in Jerusalem, in Zion. Well, they never did fix that between them, so this rift has been there this whole time. So the Samaritan people still to this day work according to these rules, Moses' laws. They only accept the first 5 books of the Bible. The rest of the Bible they rejected. So they're set apart even further, and still to this day sacrifice and still do all of these rituals. And you can go there today and watch them do it. However, the rest of Israel got with the program and went the Jesus route. So go figure. And on the second day, ye shall offer 12 young bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot. And their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, for the lambs, shall be according to their number after their manner. The 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, a meat offering thereof, and their drink offerings. And on the third day 11 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks. For the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, and his meat offering and his drink offering. And on the 4th day 10 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks. For the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering of his meat offerings and his drink offerings. Armenians. What? Huh? No, Samaritans. Armenians. And on the 5th day 9 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without spot, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering and his meat offering and his drink offering. And on the 6th day 8 bullocks. You see what's happening here? They're going down. 8 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks and for the rams and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. And 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering and his meat offering and his drink offering. And then all of a sudden there's no more animals left in the world because they sacrificed every single one of them. There's none left. They're all gone. I didn't say that. On the 7th day 7 bullocks, 2 rams, 14 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullocks, for the rams, and for the lambs shall be according to their number after the manner. 1 goat for a sin offering, besides the continual burnt offering, his meat offerings, and his drinks offerings. And on the 8th day ye shall have a solemn assembly, because you ran out of meat. See what you did there? You shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer a burnt offering, a sacrifice made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. 1 bullock, 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without blemish, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings for the bullock, for the ram, for the lambs, shall be according to their number after the manner, and 1 goat for the sin offering, besides the continual burnt offerings and his meat offering and his drink offering. Whew. These things ye shall do unto the Lord in your set feasts, beside your vows and your free will offerings, for your burnt offerings, for your meat offerings, and for your drink offerings, and for your peace offerings. And Moses told the children of Israel according to all that the Lord commanded Moses. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. You have to get it right. That's why I'm being so meticulous and laying it out for you so that you understand you have to do this every single day. And that's how they came up with the Christmas carol and a partridge in a pear tree. Could be. If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceedeth out of his mouth. Why? Because a solemn vow is a very serious thing. And when you make a promise, you keep it, because your word is all you have in this world. Your word is your bond. Your word is gold. And if you lose value on your word, it's your own fault. Keep the value of your word by doing what you say and saying what you mean. Period. This is a good advice for every human being alive. When you make a vow, you shouldn't swear to start with, but if you do, you make damn sure you keep it, because it binds your soul with a bond when you make a vow. When you swear an oath, you keep your word. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Lord, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears the vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul, and her father shall hold his peace at her. He shouldn't say a word. Then all her vows shall stand. Every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand. Her word is as good as a man's word, and her father can't say anything about it, because a promise is a promise. A swear or a vow is a swear or a vow, and you keep your word. This is obviously referring to marriage vows or something of similar value. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows or of her bonds wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand, and the Lord shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her. What does that mean? Well, if you live in your father's house, you are under his authority. That's just the way it is. You are not your own person when you live under someone else's roof, especially your father, especially if you're female. That's just the way it's designed. That's not about women being empowered. That's about the right and proper way to do things. When your father raises you, he is responsible for you, period, until you reach the age of accountability, which is usually either when you get married or when you move out on your own, when you take your own life into your hands. But until then, he is responsible for taking care of you. So if he hears you make a promise, he can disallow that promise. He can stop you from doing it, and God will forgive you for not keeping your word because your father disallowed it. However, if he says nothing, then your word is it's held against you. You need to keep your word. And if she had at all a husband when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, anything out of her lips, wherewith she bound her own soul, I added the word on, but you know what I'm saying. And her husband heard it and held his peace at her in the day that he heard it. He didn't say anything about it. He didn't bring it up. He didn't stop her. He let her keep talking. Then her vow shall stand, and her bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand. But if her husband disallow her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect, and the Lord shall forgive her. Why? Because she's being impulsive and she's saying something she shouldn't be saying without consulting her husband first. And if he disallows it, he has every right to do so. It is his household. He is the head of that household. And that's the hierarchy. It is God, man, woman, child, country. That's the hierarchy of harmony. If you want to live in harmony, you live in that order. If you do it differently, it will still work, but it will not be harmonious. No gossip, that's right. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he establish all her vows, or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirmeth them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. So by not saying anything, he is allowing her to make her own decisions, and she's going to pay the price of that decision, good or bad. But if he shall in any way make them void after he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. Do you hear that? God will forgive you, but the man will be held responsible for your iniquity. Why? Because he's your husband and that's his job. These are the statutes which the Lord commanded Moses, between a man and his wife, between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house. We're not talking about a grown woman here. We're talking about a child. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterwards shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spake unto the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites and avenge the Lord of Midian. Why? Because they brought the plague in. So now it's time to clean house. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel, that's 12,000 people, shall ye send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed men of war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas, the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war, with holy instruments, and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites, as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. And they slew the kings of Midian, besides the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, and Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam also, the son of Beor, they slew with a sword. There you go. That's the answer to the question you asked at the beginning of this. Does Balaam make it out? No. He was blessed, but he was on the wrong side after all. And he died by the sword. But it was a good story. Good evening, Walter Davis. Welcome to the show, my friend. And what about Balak? Well, it didn't say there. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took the spoil of all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods. And they burned all their cities wherewith they dwelt, and all their goodly castles with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both of men and beasts. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil unto Moses and Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp at the plains of Moab, which are by Jordan, near Jericho. And Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp. And Moses was wroth with the officers of the host, with the captains over thousands and the captains over hundreds, which came from the battle. Why was he mad? Do you know why? Moses said unto them, Have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Balaam to commit trespass against the Lord in the matter of Peor. And there was a plague among the congregation of the Lord. Do you not remember the priest killing those two people because they brought the plague into the camp? And you're going to bring the women right back to the camp? Do you not understand why we're killing them in the first place? What are you doing? You can't do that. Now, therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman that hath known a man by lying with him. Why? Because this is a sexually transmitted plague. That's why. But all the women children that have not known a man by lying with him, keep alive for yourselves. You can't have anybody that has been with a man because they have the disease that kills all the people. That's the thing. That's the reason we went in there, to avenge God in the first place. You people are insane. And do ye abide without the camp for 7 days? Whosoever hath killed any person, and whosoever hath touched any slain, purify both yourselves and your captives on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. Why? Because that's how you clean yourself. You can't go into the camp of God near the congregation, near the tabernacle, if you've touched anything dead or if you've killed anything, because you are unclean. Purify all your raiment, all your clothing, and all that is made of skin, and all the work of goat's hair, and all things made of wood. Clean it all before you bring it into the camp. And Eleazar the priest said unto the men of war which went to the battle, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord commanded Moses. Only the gold and the silver, the brass, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation. Remember that? That's the little ritualistic cleansing thing that they do with the ashes of the red heifer. And all that abideth not with fire shall ye make go through the water. Purify it with fire, if it can stand fire. And if it can't stand fire, purify it with water. But purify it before you bring it into the camp. These people are not clean. They have a plague. And that's why we avenged God of them, because they brought the plague, because our people went and mingled with them when he told us not to. So you have to kill every woman that has ever touched a man in a sexual way, and kill all the men, because they're carriers. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and you shall be clean. And afterwards, then you can come into the camp. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, thou and Eleazar the priest, and the chief fathers of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between them that took the war upon them, who went out to battle, and between all the congregation, and levy a tribute unto the Lord of the men of war which went out to battle, 1 soul of 500, both of the persons, and of the beeves, and of the asses, and of the sheeps. Take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest, for an heave offering to the Lord. So, they have to divide it into 2 parts, and then take the sacrifice off the top, the heave offering. So Eleazar the priest gets some, and the men of war get some, and God gets some. That's how it goes. Amen. And of the children of Israel's half, thou shalt take 1 portion of 50, of the persons, of the beeves, of the asses, and of the flocks, of all manner of beasts, and give them unto the Levites, which keep the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord. So the Levites get a portion. That's one of the perks of being a priest, being a Levite. You get a portion of all the spoils. You get a portion of all the money. You get a portion of all the land. You get a portion of all the animals and of all the people, so that you can continue. And Moses and Eleazar the priest did as the Lord commanded. And the booty, being the rest of the prey which the men of war had caught, was 600,000, and 70,000, and 5,000 sheep, and 12,000 beeves, 1,000 asses, and 32,000 persons in all, 32,000 women, virgins, of women that had not known a man by lying with him. This is a happy day for the kids of Israel, let me tell you what. And the half, which was the portion of them that went out to war, was in number 300,000, and 30,000, and 500 sheep. And the Lord's tribute of the sheep was 615. That's 675 sheep was slaughtered for the tribute to the Lord. And the beeves were 36,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 12. That's 72. And the asses were 30,500, of which the Lord's tribute was 61. That's 11. 71. 20, 40, 61. 61, that's it. 61. And the persons were 16,000, of which the Lord's tribute was 32 persons. 32 people tributed to God. I'd settle for a sloppy Joe. Amen, sister. And Moses gave the tribute which was the Lord's heave offering unto Eleazar the priest, as the Lord commanded Moses. And of the children of Israel's half, which Moses divided from the men that warred, now the half that pertained unto the congregation was 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep, and 36,000 beeves, and 30,000 asses, and 516,000 people. 516,000 people. Even of the children of Israel's half, Moses took 1 portion of the 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them unto the Levites, which kept the charge of the tabernacle of the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the officers which were over thousands of the host, and the captains of thousands, and the captains of hundreds, came near unto Moses. And they said unto Moses, Thy servant hath taken the sum of the men of war, which are under our charge, and there lacketh not one man of us. We all have gotten something. from this big win. That's pretty nice when everybody partakes a little bit. We have therefore brought an oblation for the Lord. What every man hath gotten of jewels, of gold, of chains, of bracelets, and rings, and earrings, and tablets, to make an atonement for our souls before the Lord. I'm sure they'd be thinking about that because they just killed a whole lot of people. So I'm sure they're looking for an atonement. Some form of forgiveness. And Moses and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all the wrought jewels, and all the gold of the offering that they offered up to the Lord, of the captains of thousands and of the captains of hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. That's a big payday right there. And that's where we're going to stop for today. We'll pick up next weekend, 3153. Man, what a fantastic read that was tonight. Very interesting. Very, very informative. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it touched your heart the way that it touched mine. I hope that you got something out of it. I hope you appreciate the level of detail and the structure by which these people have to live. And I hope that you can learn something from it and maybe even improve your own life by thinking about the way that lives of other people are lived. Won't you do me a favor? Hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be online when my new videos drop. Smash that like button. It's right in front of you. It takes no effort at all. It really does help the channel with the algorithm, and it helps us get recommended to other people. So won't you please do that? Share this video with people you love. Better yet, share it with people you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Hey, question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critical. That's what I'm after. I want you to think critical with that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to build here, or if God has impressed upon your heart to send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings, or if you just like to pat me on the back and say, hey, really good job, Jake, I'm following what you're laying down here. You can do that. You can support my work by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or if you're a CashApp user, you can go to $JakeJohnsonBand and contribute. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing to my soul, but it's a blessing to yours too, because God notices these things. He pays attention when you help His army advance, when you help His word spread. So keep that in mind, and I will do everything in my power to be worthy of that confidence and that trust and your support. And now I will round out this video by answering all of your questions and comments. There you go, peoples. That is more from the great book of Numbers. I hope you enjoyed that tonight. I really do. I enjoyed it immensely. Questions, comments, criticisms, catharses, cattle, caravans, anything. Let me know what's up. What's on your mind? What did this book make you think about? Are you still, in fact, here? Did you fall asleep on me? Are you thinking? Are you scheming? Are you planning? Are you dreaming? Are you thinking? Did it make you think? That's what I'm after. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to engage your brain. Wars. Yeah, lots of that. Well, we got some housekeeping to do. You understand? These people have been taken out of captivity from being in captivity for 450 years. Now they're loose and free. And then all the older people died, and all the younger people are out here with not a clue. They're like Gen Z of that era. Their daddies were all the baby boomers. They fought the big wars, and now they're all gone. So all these young people are here that have no real life experience. And they've been gifted this big piece of property, this big piece of land It's theirs. Now they got to clean it out and make it a home. So there's some housekeeping that needs to be done. They got to learn to do some fighting of their own. They got to stand up for what's right and what's theirs. They got to defend their honor and their God. And they got to rid the land of some ugliness. Now, ask yourself why? Why would they have to go in and kill the people that are there? Because those people lost the right to that land because of their sin and their inability to turn back towards God. Just like God tells them that if you don't do what I tell you to do, this land will spit you out. You'll lose it too. And some of them do. Some of them are captive. Some of them are killed. Some of them are defeated. Some of them are conscripted into other types of people who gain that property. And then eventually it'll be returned to them over time. But for a while, they will lose their rights to this land because of their sin. So just because God gives you something does not mean he won't allow it to be taken away from you if you don't do what you're told. You have to do the part. It's a deal. It's a if and then. I will give you this if you'll do this. If you'll do this, you can keep this. But if you stop doing this or if you do the opposite, then I'm going to take it away from you for a while. It made me think about Abraham being stopped from sacrificing his son and the captives being sacrificed. Well, it's interesting you should bring that up. Because you see, at the time that God told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac, the world was changing, you see. And God was just about to build this group of people that we're talking about now, the descendants of Abraham, so many that the stars in the sky wouldn't number them. That's the father of all nations, Abraham. And as he's thinking about this, he's already laying out the plan for his son Christ to come to this earth to be the one and only sacrifice for all sin, to make a way for all people to go to God directly. So even back then in Abraham's time, he was thinking about that. And he thought to himself, if I'm going to sacrifice my only begotten son, I would like to know that they are willing to do the same thing for me. So in a test, he told Abraham to sacrifice his only son, the one he had waited for his whole life. And without a beat, Abraham obeyed him. He didn't like it. It wasn't fun. He did not want to lose his son. But because God instructed him, he was willing to do what God told him to do. And God stopped him. He just wanted to know that he was willing, because he had already considered giving his only begotten son for the same reason, to atone for all sin. So when Abraham made a motion to sacrifice Isaac, God stopped him, and then he provided a lamb for the sacrifice right there on that mountain, the same mountain that Moses was upon when he got the 10 Commandments, Mount Sinai, the same area where Christ will reign. All of this stuff is just a plan being formulated for the future. It's a prophecy. It's an allegory of what's to come. God was thinking about it 4,000 years before it happened. So you must understand, God never intended Abraham to kill Isaac. He just wanted to know that he was willing. And that gave God the go-ahead to do it himself. Because if they're willing to do it for me, surely I can do it for them. That's a good explanation. Thanks. You're welcome, sir. A Bob Dylan song, Highway 61. Ooh. This is in the Quran, is it? I did not know that. I have never read the Quran because I'm a Christian. But I'm glad it's in there because it's true. No, it's a question. Oh, is this in the Quran? I have no idea. I've never read the Quran because I'm a Christian. But I'm glad that it'd be in there because I hope it's in there because it's true. I don't know what the Quran says. I do know that the Quran was written based on a religion built by a guy named Ishmael, which was kicked out of the family of Abraham because Isaac is the one that was going to go forward and produce Jacob, and the tribes would come from his bloodline. It probably is because the Quran is based on the total and the Bible. Well, they're both the same religion, so they would have similar information. The difference is Christ. That's the big difference between the two religions. The Torah just means the first 5 books of the Bible, the books written by Moses. Or Moses did the editing. I don't know if he wrote everything, but he put it together. The 5 books of the law and all of that stuff. I don't know either. One day I am going to read it, though, just for this edification of knowledge, but not right now. Right now I got to get a better handle on the book that I'm supposed to be following. Which I think I got a pretty good handle on it, but it could be stronger. I don't have a lot of things committed to memory, like scripture verses and stuff. Like, I know the stories, but I can't exactly tell you where it's at sometimes. You just have to trust me when I put things together. It's because I'm pulling from all these different sources to put together these ideas, but I can't necessarily point at it and say, this is where I got it, until we get there and I read it and then go, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I meant. So I need to get better at that. That's my downfall. I envy those guys that could just rattle off numbers and say, that's where it is in the Bible, because I remember it. I can't remember. I ain't that good at remembering. Anyway, we have made it to the top of the hour. We all believe in the same Almighty. Jews don't accept Jesus as the Messiah, and the Muslims believe Jesus is the second most important prophet. Yes, they do respect Christ. They just don't think he's the Messiah, and they're incorrect. And they will know one day that he is. And they will be much ashamed when they realize it. Because they had him, and they let him get killed. But it had to happen that way. God planned it that way. And so nothing is amiss because of his death. His death was necessary. He was the sacrifice, and he did it willingly, and he did it strong. He didn't whimper. He took it like a man, and he made an example for all of us. Now, when he returns, he will be the Messiah that they thought they were looking for the first time, which is the almighty ruler by the iron, white horse, white robe, drenched in blood, big sword, and all that. It's coming. It just ain't here yet. Because when he came the first time, he came humble, come in on an ass, riding low. He didn't come to make waves. He didn't come to conquer. He came to set free. And that's what he did. And he said as much. I didn't come to change one jot or tittle of the law, he said, but to fulfill it. And now that that's done, when he returns, then he'll be the Messiah that they so desperately wanted back then, because they wanted to conquer Rome, who had conquered them. Oddly enough, Rome is now fallen and no longer in charge, and they couldn't have foreseen that. They had no idea that was coming. But it came nonetheless, because that's the nature of the world we live in. It's going to happen here too, folks. You'll be speaking Chinese before you know it. Trust me on that one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is the top of the hour plus 25. it's time for me to go to bed because I got to get up, go to work in the morning. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love you true. I do. I mean that. Thank you so much for being so interesting and having such great comments and questions and keeping me popping and keeping my brain functioning and just being here to experience the Word of Almighty God with me. It means the world to me, and I can't wait until the next time we do it together, and I can't wait to find out what we learn next. I hope you feel the same way. Do me a favor, when you go out into the world tomorrow, when you encounter other people, be nice. It's not that hard. All you got to do is smile at a stranger, hold a door for an old lady, help a guy across the street, buy a bum a sandwich, make a donation to your favorite church. Whatever it is, just be nice. It doesn't cost anything if you don't want it to. It's not hard. But what it will do, it'll change your life from the inside out. You'll begin to shine. You'll begin to effervesce. Brightness. Your inner light will come out when you're nice. And other people notice that. And when they notice it, they'll be envious of it. And that's an end for you to start up the conversation when they ask you about it. Hey, what's going on with you? Well, it just so happens that I've been studying the Bible. And I've learned a thing or two about my father. Would you like to hear more? And then you can bring them in and change their life. That's how it spreads. So just be nice. That's all you got to do. Do that for me, would you? And when you do, enjoy the doors that it opens for you. Enjoy the love that it invites into your life. That's what I want. Love for all of you. Because I love you, and I know God does. And I want you to love each other too. All that being said, have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you got something out of this tonight. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday where we can let our hair down and have a little fun. And I'll sing some stuff for you or whatever. We'll do something nice. I usually have a Bible on my dashboard of my truck. Starts a lot of conversations. Amen, Walter. Good man. I love you all. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for watching.